Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Blame It on the Stars, where we give you an inside look to what's going on in the universe so you can blame your problems on the stars. It is Jade here.
And it's Kara.
And this week, we'll be talking all about the full moon in Sagittarius. But in case you missed it, last week we explained everything that happens during Gemini season. So if you're curious to hear more about that, then definitely listen to last week's episode before diving into this one.
And just to give you a heads up, next week we will tell you everything you need to know about Venus entering the sign of Leo and Mercury in Gemini.
And after a short ad break, we're going to dive right into it. So the full moon in Sagittarius, this happens on June 3rd at 11:41 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Per usual, the date and time are from the website astroseek.com. Now, what you need to know. Full moons are times of releasing, and in this full moon, we'll be releasing the Sagittarius themes of old philosophies or ideals.
How this affects you is you might find that you're more spiritual and optimistic during this full moon. Sagittarius is associated with spirituality, so you might find that you're a little bit more interested in your spiritual practices or looking for a deeper meaning as you are releasing and letting go during this full moon.
So why this matters is this full moon can be a really good opportunity for growth. Now, as we mentioned just now, Sagittarius energy is very spiritually in tune, and we're letting go of old philosophies and ideals. But if we think about the moon cycle, where full moons are times of releasing and new moons are times of bringing something in, we're letting go of these old ideals we might have held for ourselves that no longer serve us so that we can work towards becoming a different version of ourselves and set those intentions with the upcoming new moon. Also, too, since Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter, the themes of growth and expansion really come through during this full moon.
Something you might not know is that this full moon is happening at 13 degrees Sagittarius. So if you are familiar with your birth chart, then you might want to check out where exactly 13 degrees falls in your chart to get a better understanding of how it affects you on a more personal level. 13 degrees is also associated with the sign of Aries. So you might find that you are letting go of things so that you can focus more of your energy on yourself and your goals.
Something else you might not know is that this full moon, while it is for the most part a time of optimism, there are some more challenging aspects that could make this full moon a little bit more complicated. Now, what exactly are those aspects? The first one you'll want to know is that the sun will be sextile Mars and the moon will be trine Mars. What you need to know with this is that the positive aspect to Mars can really enhance our ability to be creative. And also, too, if you find that there's a little bit more energy that comes with this full moon, whereas other full moons you tend to want to just take it easy, you can attribute that to the positive aspects to Mars, the planet of motivation.
This full moon is also square Saturn. This is a more challenging aspect just because Saturn is a more serious energy. As we are releasing and letting go, we might be experiencing some challenges or obstacles. So it's really important that we are patient with ourselves and practical as we are releasing and changing our approach to different things in our lives.
It's also important to know, too, with harsh aspects to Saturn, that it's going to be really important to practice self-care and self-compassion. If you find that you end up setting really strong expectations for yourself and feel a little bit of pressure to meet those. Now, while this might cause a bit of challenge, this is a really good opportunity for growth and also learning. If we think about Saturn as a planet that teaches us lessons in discipline and perseverance, and it also adds an extra layer of maturity to it. By working through this challenging aspect, you'll be able to come out a little bit stronger. If you're curious to know more, though, about how this full moon might affect you on a more personal level, then this is your reminder that we do offer readings. Readings are hosted on an app called Intro, which allows for FaceTime style calls. Readings are as short as 15 minutes to as long as 1 hour. You decide what you want to talk about. And when you go to book the reading, you'll be able to type in some questions. Some of the more commonly asked questions are, how exactly does a certain transit affect you? What you should do for a living? We can look at what career is meant for you based on your chart. Sometimes people like to do a look ahead of what transits are coming and how it's going to impact them, and other related questions.
If you've never booked a reading with us before, then you can use the code STARS, all caps, STARS, for $20 off your first reading.
And just a reminder, next week, we'll be talking all about Venus in Leo and Mercury entering Gemini. You're definitely going to want to stay tuned for this one specifically because Venus in Leo is a very long transit this year. So just throwing that out there. You're going to want to put this episode on your radar. But if you want to stay in the loop with us and what is to come, then make sure you are following us on social media. We are on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at BLME The Stars. That is all for now, and we'll see you all next Monday. Bye.